I get distracted very... Whoa, diabolical voice crack. I get distracted very easily. You know, halfway while I was writing the script, super randomly, a melody came to my mind and I was like, what is that melody? And I got off my computer just to like fiddle my piano for the next 15 minutes. But you might ask me, right, if I get sidetracked so easily, how is it ever possible for me to get anything done? I'll tell you my method, right? Practice productive procrastination. When you typically think of somebody who gets distracted very easily, you might think of a few things. Scrolling social media for 1 hour, going to the kitchen for no good reason. And now that you are here, I'll tell you how to procrastinate productively. So, as an example, I'll just break down how my typical day will go when I'm trying to be productive. I study for a test for about 40 minutes, I get crazy bored so I give up halfway, I walk around my room and I find a book to read. I read for 40 minutes and after one chapter I get tired again and I start to feel a bit sleepy. I leave the house to go for a walk for 20 minutes. I come back to study the test again for 40 minutes. I'm hungry, time for lunch. Damn! The Red Thread released a new podcast, I'm gonna watch that. Well, back to work, but damn, I don't want to study. I'm gonna fiddle the piano for like half an hour. My bad bro, I need to go back to studying. Now, hearing all that, I know that to you that might sound like the most unproductive work schedule ever. But you do realize that in the span of 4 hours, I got a lot of things done. I studied for 2 hours, I read a book for 40 minutes, I played the piano for 30 minutes, I walked for 20 minutes, and then I got lunch. So in this routine from maybe 10 AM to 2 PM, after all of that, I still got energy to go for another 4-hour session. So after one day of hard work, I did like 4 hours of studying and like 4 hours of things that I wanted to work on, like my own hobbies or the things that I like to do. So what did I demonstrate here? In the words of Sun Tzu, weapons grow dull and men grow tired. When energy is limited, people are equipped with resentment. Prolonged fights benefit nobody. The hard truth is, I've never really met anybody who can work for 8 hours straight on the same thing. And if they are medical students, they are severely depressed and they really need help. When you go through these long marathons of working on the same thing for 8 hours straight, what you're really setting up for is to hate what you are working on more than you already do. And if you hate what you are doing, you are not the least bit motivated. Maybe the only motivation that's like pushing you forward is the fact that you need to get an A or something like that. Or the power of your hatred is so strong that it is pushing you forward to complete this task, to destroy it as soon as possible. And this is how things like art block or writer's block happen. And I can say this because I'm a writer. So how do you keep your morale strong when you're working? My advice is to interlace your activities. So instead of studying for 8 hours straight, you study for 1 hour, then you go and do 1 hour doing something else productive, and then you come back to study again, and then after that, after 1 hour, you go and do something else again, and then you go back to studying. So at the end of the day, you have like 4 hours of studying and 4 hours of doing something else that you like to do. So if you spend 4 hours on work, then what do you spend the other 4 hours on, right? So if you think about typical procrastination, what you might do would be to play video games, to watch some videos, to scroll social media. But what if instead of procrastinating doing those things, you procrastinate by doing something else productive? So that could be things like, I don't know, going outside, or reading a book, or going for a walk, or spending some time with your friends or your family. Go talk to your mom, and things like that. So there are a lot of ways where even though we do feel like procrastinating and don't feel like doing any work, there's a lot more productive ways to spend our time. But you might question me and say, isn't that ineffective? And to that I say, I don't know, I'm not a behavioral therapist. But my only defense to this is that I am living proof of this practice. I've been doing this since the very beginning of 2022, and from then I have seen great progress in how productive I've become, in how much things I can get done in one day. I'll go so far to say that this routine is perfect for people who have a lot of hobbies or who have too little focus to focus on one thing for a very long time. So I found one example of this in this book, Range by David Epstein. Basically, the research gathered multiple pianists who are learning to play piano notes. Each pianist was given 190 attempts to play a 15-key jump. Half the pianists used all their attempts to perform the 15-key jump, while others spent their attempts doing the 8-key, 12-key, 15-key and 22-key jumps. So, guess who performed better? The second team performed much better than the first team. It was the pianists who practiced all the other jumps instead of the 15-key jumps only that did better overall. Because not only were they more accurate, they were also much faster. So this is how I see my work routine as well, right? My other hobbies and my interests do not interfere with my work. If anything, they make my work more meaningful and more informed. What I read inspires what I write inspires what I say inspires what I read. So it's like the circle of life, right? Everything inspires my work and my work inspires everything. And I think that's quite beautiful. So what are the steps to practice productive procrastination? Number 1, set your activities to a minimum of 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, if you get tired or bored, switch to something else. And number 2, do not go for long stretches doing one thing. Okay, this is a bit of a disclaimer, right? But if you are the type of person who can work for 4 hours straight with no breaks at all and you are completely okay after 4 hours, please keep doing that. Because this strategy is, again, this is just my strategy, is for somebody like me who gets easily distracted, who has too many hobbies to keep up with. This is a weird way to end the video, but I mean, that's it for me. Thanks for watching and okay, bye bye.